Hello and welcome everyone to Adobe Collaborative Livestream here live from London. I'm Stephanie, I'm the XD evangelist in the UK based on, focused on the community side, and I have Anita here with me. Welcome. Hey. Anita, how are you?
So good, excited for today.
So tell us, what are you doing for Adobe? Not that I wouldn't know, but
I know, because both me and you go way back. So I'm part of the XD strategic development team. I'm part of an incredible global team. And we basically work between the XD product team and our incredible customers on building XD. So yeah.
That's a great intro.
Love it.
Thank you very much. So you guys out there, this is really your chance in our YouTube live stream to put your questions up there. So if you do have any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll read them out. You can ask us anything today or just say hi, where you're streaming in from. So this is really your chance to do so.
Incredible global team.
We should pause that and not hear ourselves. And yeah, I'm going to get started to give you a heads up what XD is all about. So for our live stream today, we have prepared the greatest features of the past year since last
Our favorite features.
Our favorite features. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have one conference per year that's called Adobe Max. It's our biggest tech conference in the year, and we have loads of amazing updates coming out every year, and we are going to present what has been out there since last Max. So just to give you a head start about what XD is all about, I have a presentation prepared for you.
Ooh,
obviously
nice.
In XD, and Anita is in it as well, so cloud documents. So that's a little fancy intro done with Adobe XD with Auto-Animate. Our theme today is how the XD community shapes the future. So just to get a head up, what is Adobe XD? Adobe XD is a design, a prototype, and a collaboration tool. So it's a vector-based design tool. You can prototype both wireframes as well as high-fidelity designs, and you can share your designs either with developers or with clients, or also with coworkers, like we shared our file with each other. We have amazing teams producing XD based in Seattle, San Francisco, New York, and on the other side of the world in Bucharest and in Bangalore. So who is designing XD? It's done by UX designers for UX designers, but obviously also very smart developers who are iterating it on a monthly basis. If you do have the Creative Cloud subscription, you have Adobe XD right in there. If you don't, you can download XD for free. That's the coolest part of it. So Anita is going to talk a little bit about more what XD is all about and how it's built.
Yeah. We are such close co-workers. I'm going to use your laptop. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm working with some of our incredible customers. Shout out to those of you who are joining today. So as Stephanie mentioned, a vector-based tool for designing and prototyping user experiences. But really kind of since our kind of first release back in like October 2017, as XD did spend a while in beta, we've really gone from being a tool just for the UX design teams and then more of a experience design collaboration platform. So as Stephanie mentioned, we're bringing out brand new features like every month, and based on the feedback that we're getting from our, customers, we're really expanding our feature set. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys just a bit of an overview on XD. So in terms of like the four kind of key pillars on XD, the first one is around like how can organizations, work faster together. So all around like design teams working with their developers, their stakeholders, their clients and so forth. And both of us are definitely showcasing these features today as well, so you guys can see them for yourselves. The second is future-proof. So obviously there's so much like cutting edge tech coming out all the time, hey? So one big release which we had last November is voice prototyping in XD, and that has been incredible. And I've got an awesome voice prototype to share with you guys in a bit. So now people can create voice prototypes in XD. It's super easy to use. And then as of our release earlier this year, you can actually share your voice prototypes onto an Alexa device or an Echo device as well. Pretty cool. And then thirdly, around industrial grade. So it's not just for MacBook users, but also Windows as well. And yeah, available in up to 6 languages, which is awesome. And then finally, connected. So Stephanie has some awesome examples around, you know, like exporting your XD artboards into After Effects for so forth. You can edit like images into Photoshop directly, which is really cool. And then finally, we have a huge ecosystem of plugins and integrations, which is awesome. And integrations with like Slack, Jira, Trello, absolutely incredible. All right, so how we're building a feature, starting from our community, which is you guys. So please keep asking us questions and giving your feedback. So one of the things which we do in the product team is we publish our backlog, like our entire product backlog. So features which are under review, like going live soon and so forth. And as you can see here, people can come in and they can vote on features like which they really want to see. So, which is absolutely fantastic. And in terms of some of the feedback we've had from our amazing UK customers, UK represent, why not? We're based out of London today. So some customers I've absolutely loved working with, such as Proximity. So these guys are like part of the Omnicom group, and they've been doing some awesome stuff with XD. Shout out to Brian Eagle. So Brian is the head of UX. And then finally, just in terms of us, like as the product team on Twitter, we're always sharing kind of sneaks, so such as code snippets in XD, which came out earlier this year. And then some other examples, having people in our XD community, such as at Becca Liz Fergie, showcasing how, she's using XD. So as Steffi and I are now presenting to you guys an XD presentation. XD is really good for presentations, hey? Super easy and have some really engaging content, as well as mood board, voice demos, and so forth. And then speaking of voice, a fantastic customer I worked with earlier this year is Deloitte Digital. Shout out to Jez Williams from Deloitte Digital on an incredible voice prototype that he put together for IKEA. So that's just like some amazing examples of how like our customers are using XD, and then of course how we're building it. All right, so let's get into the demos. Stephanie, what is your favorite one?
Let's first check who is in the chat, who is here.
Yeah. Let me have a look.
Yeah, look, so many people. Rufus is here. Hi, Rufus.
Hey, Rufus.
My favorite boss, my only boss. Alan is here, James is here, Adobe UK of course is here, Joey is here. Hello, welcome everyone. So yeah, if you do have any questions, let me know. I read them out, no questions so far. So everything is clear. So we jump right into demoing. So I have to say, Anita, one of my showstoppers last Max was Auto-Animate.
It's so good, isn't it?
I mean, I think you guys out there, you know that previously you had to animate to bring your prototype across to a client. You had to animate everything in After Effects, keyframe by keyframe by keyframe. But then Auto-Animate came out. It's completely, for me, it was a showstopper. So I have one example right here, which is pretty cool. So these are literally, you can see, it's just 4 artboards. And I connected them with the time transition so I can see what it's actually doing. You type in your email address, you hit send, and you just get this tick. So that's really cool. So how I did it was just, the only trick with it is I labeled this layer over here, this email icon, I just labeled it email, and that tick over here I also labeled it email, even though it isn't, but then XD think it is the same thing, and that's why it morphs it. And the only connection in prototype mode that I did is a time transition with Auto-Animate and ease out, and that is what generates this fancy tick over here. You can obviously also create a bit more complex systems, such as this booking system that I have created. So you think I have just created like a lot of screens, but actually when we click inside, you can see that I have the previous screen on top and the next screen on the bottom, so you can animate the sliding basically. So if I click into that and play it and I hit book, it just slides up from the top. I can also do transitions to the side, which is not Auto-Animate, but then when I want to keep sliding things up, this is all just done by Auto-Animate, and I can just smoothly click through that prototype. Type in credit card details, and then I get a loading animation, all done in Auto-Animate, and at the end I have my ticket. And that's my prototype done, every single interaction. I can show it here again. So if you click, the command is a tab. If you click on book, it just auto-animates into the next screen. What do you think about this?
I love it. And it's just so, like, I feel like a Pixar designer, It's so easy, it's so intuitive to create those interactive prototypes and really kind of share them with people and get their feedback. Super, super quick.
What do you guys out there think? Have a chat here? No questions so far. So what have you prepared? What was your showstopper last, Max?
Oh my God, what wasn't my showstopper? I mean, one feature that I'd love to show you guys, speaking of prototyping, is voice. So as you know, Stephanie, I'm quite a big chatter. So I'm just going to show you guys the kind of voice prototyping piece in XD. All right, so if we just go into prototype mode and I click on this artboard, so exactly what I've prepared here is just a voice prototype for, turning my lights off in my living room, really nice and easy. So as you can see, I've tagged up my artboards to the next. And by clicking on the voice trigger just here, I can type in this command, Alexa, did I lock everything? Like, how easy is that? Like, super easy. I can also set an action, so I can make it auto-animate. I can, control the easing and the duration. And just like that, I can really kind of build this amazing voice prototype. So then on the artboard, which it's being plugged into, such as this one to here, I can then put my speech playback just by using the time trigger, speech playback, and I can have all these different accents, which is awesome. So many. A choir, an XD choir, even better. But yeah, super easy, super intuitive to create. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. And just a heads up, you can now play your voice prototypes on an Alexa or like on an Echo device, which is really cool, as well as on your phone. So you can download the XD mobile app onto your phone and play them. So really, really cool. You just have to hold down your screen on your phone. So let's give it a whirl. You do need internet connection, just a heads up. All right. So to test this, I just have to press down on the spacebar. Alexa, did I lock everything?
Yes, both the front and back doors are locked.
Are the lights on in the living room?
The lights are on in the living room. Do you want to turn them off?
Yes.
Okay, all the lights are off.
Can you set an alarm for 7 a.m. for the kitchen lights to turn on?
Okay, I've set an alarm for 7 a.m. for the kitchen lights.
Isn't that so sassy? And like all the micro interactions as well, using Auto-Animate, as Steph just showcased. It's so easy to use and really pull together an engaging voice prototype.
I have one as well. So
go
If
on.
at any point in time you miss your colleague, you can just ask your Alexa, like this one, where is Anita?
I love that. So cute.
I don't know. I can't see Anita.
That's sad. That's sad. It's maybe I need to design the glasses for the next time or something like that. But this is only done like with 4 ellipses.
Yeah.
That's it. You can create ellipses in XD. You have all the tools in design mode over here. So I just created 4 ellipses, 2 white ellipses and 2 black ellipses, and they are just connected through Auto-Animate in prototype mode, as you can see here. And it looks like eyes are looking for Anita.
Amazing.
But I couldn't see her.
So Steph, I have a question. If I wanted to, further use my animations, like let's say put them in After Effects to like do more detailed design, what's the vibe there? What does it look like?
I'll come to that afterwards, but before we jump into After Effects export, I first want to highlight the Photoshop.
Oh yeah, go on.
Photoshop and Illustrator. Isn't that's one of the most amazing features? So you can open PSD files, pure Photoshop files, and Illustrator files. In Illustrator even, you can copy and paste icons across. So I have created this Illustrator icon sheet, for example, and I can just select them all, and you can see some of them I have labeled them already. So I named this as timer, others it's still called path because I haven't had time or to finalize or name them yet. But I just select all of them and I just hit copy and go over into XD and paste them in design mode right here. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah. It's here and you can't see them because they're obviously all black. So if I ungroup that, you can see the little frames that are around it. And then I can just change it to white and they're all there. And it's all, if I take one of them, it's all still vector art. So it's not a picture, so you can scale it up, you can change it, make it a longer eye.
Like a beak. You've got a little toucan there. Yeah.
That's a weird one. But yeah, so that's what you can do with Illustrator. What you can also do, I saved this document as an Illustrator file on my desktop right here. So it's called iconsheet.ai. So it's an Illustrator file. I can drag and drop that into XD, and voila, it opens the Illustrator file right there. If I change to the layer settings over here, I can click in here and I can see all the ones that are labeled already, like comment, download. It even inherits like the names of the layers right there. And the ones that I haven't labeled yet, they're just called paths. So I need to figure out myself which one that is. And if I wanted to label it right here, I can just double click in there and change the name of my layer. So exit, full screen, and that's how I label my layers and keep it organized. So that's the Illustrator import. I'm going to close that and not save it because I copied and pasted it across. For the Photoshop import, you can also open, drag and drop just PSDs right in there. But what you can also do, one of the latest features, you have a right click and you can say edit in Photoshop. So if you have a picture there and you think something might not look quite right and you want to change it or do any amendments to it, then it opens right there and you could Photoshop a shark in here, something like that, whatever you fancy. And as soon as you save it, it saves it automatically in your XD file and it's right there. You can also, if you're bored on holiday, like I was, you can create some e-cards, for example, like this. Yeah, I was observing some crabs on the beach. And then I created these e-cards and all I did was in Photoshop, I just sliced it into 3 pieces and then I just moved them in and out. This is all just Auto-Animate, but that was also Photoshop import. So I just opened my PSD file. I shot them with the Lightroom app on my phone and then opened it through Lightroom in Photoshop and then opened the PSD file in XD. Yeah, that's all I did. And coming back to Illustrator, if you have any like more complex files, not like just icons like this one, I also created one app that took me quite a long time to create this background path. So this is an ornament, so you should be able to see it when I zoom in because it's quite gray, almost like the background. But you can see it's a very large file, and I just masked it to this specific area. And that's all in Illustrator file. So this is still, you can see it's a vector path. So if I wanted to, I could change it right here, but that's usually the type of work that you're doing in Illustrator, and then you just copy and paste it over. And then again, when you create your file right in here, you can animate it and make it interactive. So
wow, that is so cool.
That again
right?
is Auto-Animate. Obviously, I drew this graph in Illustrator, but I animated it in XD. So that's pretty cool, I think. And then After Effects. So you can, if you have some more, if you want to do some more complex animations, what you can do is you have here the export functionality, export to After Effects. You just click on it, and it opens this specific artboard in After Effects after some time. And it constrains all the layers, as you can see. So I've created this website design, for example, and all the layers are right here, and I can animate them further if I wanted to. So yeah, that's my import summary, I would say. Let's check the chat. Are there any questions? Have you seen anything?
Let's see.
Anyone tuned in? Anyone new?
We don't have any questions, but keep questions coming.
Yeah,
keep questions coming.
This is your chance. We have 1 hour. Afterwards, you can replay it, of course, but you can't ask us any questions anymore until next time.
Defo. But do you not think that that's incredible? Like, in terms of if you want to further, like, animate your designs, you can just, like, export them into After Effects. It's so quick, isn't it? It's so easy.
I absolutely love the Photoshop feature because I always take pictures with the Lightroom app, and I always open them in Photoshop. And then if you want to do something fancy, put some text on top. It's just easier to open it in photo, like in XD, because you just just open your
Yeah.
Photoshop file. You don't have to convert and save it as JPEG, and then it loses all the colors and, you know, all the struggle.
And same for like stock images as well. You can just search for an Adobe stock image, you can bring it into XD, import it, right click, edit in Photoshop. So chilled.
So
really
cool.
good.
There's actually another feature that I used to use in Photoshop, but now since the latest update, it's in here. It's called blend modes.
Oh my God, blend
Isn't that
modes are
cool?
amazing.
I've always used them in Photoshop, but
God.
now they're here right in XD. So if, for example, I click through my picture of that beach right here, that was in the Seychelles, I can just multiply,
So nice.
color burn, lighten.
Oh, no, I love
this,
that. That's really nice.
All these features. So if you want like a fancy effect for your home screen, for example, where you don't want to show the real picture, you can, it's pink like XD, isn't it? I have a pink beach. Who doesn't want a pink beach? That's a bit spacey. What else? Do we have
It looks
here?
good. It looks cool. I love
That lost the beach entirely.
Nice.
So maybe not. Oh, that one is nice.
Luminosity is
That's
very cool.
pink sky. That looks nice.
On brand.
So let's leave it like that. So what do you have prepared?
Oh
What's
my
next?
gosh. So do you know what, Stephanie? One big thing that I love, you love as a creative, and you know, like when we're working in an amazing team and building like a new website or building more interactive applications, is consistency across like all your designs of the team. So two features that have come out that really bring that home are linked assets. So that was part of our May release, and then components. So let me show you the vibe with these two features. So just a heads up, I've got my design system here. I love a design system, big fan of that. So if I wanted to get started and just, you know, kind of get started with maybe doing an iPad design, why not? It's Friday, let's design an iPad. So I click on my iPad here, just like that. And then if I go into my assets panel, so this little kind of post box, isn't it, almost icon here, I can click on link assets. And just like that, I can go into my cloud documents just here, and I can pull in assets from another cloud document. So let's use our presentation for today. So Adobe Live, just like that. Look at that, I've got all my components. I can like bring in colors and character styles as well, like super, super easy.
And you can just drag and drop them in,
You can just drag and drop them in. So just like this, let's say I want to use this send button, just here, I can bring it in. It's like so easy to use. Really, really easy to use, just like that. So yeah, so that's linked assets. So if someone makes any changes in this document, it can get pushed out across multiple XD files.
Can we try that?
Yeah, we can try that. So if you open up, so let's go back into our document here. So let's say I want to get started. So let's be cheeky and let's just create a component here. So if I go into design mode here, and let's say I want to do a hot pink triangle. Well, let's say I want to make it a shape I can't even pronounce. So let's give that 8 points. Let's give it curved edges. I love a rounded edge. And then I right click here. So let me just make that point back on. So then I right click here and I click make component. Super easy. So for the component, you can see in the top left-hand corner, that's the master component just there. So if I copy that here and paste it in my new iPad, just like that, there you go, it automatically links. Super, super easy. So any changes I make to this component here, so let's say I decide I want to change it. Oh, what should I change it to? Blue. Oh, I love that blue. Just like that. And save it, or it should automatically save in your cloud document. I go into my new iPad and I have update all. Voila!
And it's blue.
So sassy. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
So it really keeps that consistency in everything across your
It
designs.
just helps to work together. So if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
working on
definitely.
icons and I'm working on the flow, and you're creating the icons for me, I can just place them all over, and as soon as you have changed it, it just
Definitely.
updates automatically for me. So-
Definitely. And you know what? Like one thing I get a lot of is obviously, you know, working with like logos, for example. So we have a logo change, you know, things change. It's so much easier like having a component and pushing those like updates out across multiple XD files than having to open up a file, you know, change each logo and oh my God, spend 27 years, you know, changing it. It's so much easier. Okay, so if I take this component here, and if I right-click on it, I have the option to edit master and source document. So even if the source document is closed, where the master sits, XD will automatically open it up. So just like that, it transitioned, which is so cool. Makes it super, super quick. I have a few other options with components. I can obviously like show the component in the assets panel. I can fit bounds to content. I can unlink the component so it has nothing to do with the component anymore. So just like that, it's completely like just like any other object, and that's basically it. But yeah, components are very, very cool. And with that linked assets, let me take this off your lovely designs, you can really build out that consistency and transparency across multiple XD files, which is really cool. Oh, I think we have a question.
Do we?
Yes. So Gerard McCornish, hey, will timeline animation be introduced similar to InVision? Thanks. So Rufus, thanks Rufus. This user voice is the best place to see what features are under consideration and also a good place to ask for new ones.
Definitely.
So,
Let me just quickly show user voice right here. I've got it open. So you just have to go to adobeXD.uservoice.com, and that's where you can see for the latest feature requests down here. The ones with the highest votes are most likely to come in the next release. You can see the feature has already started with tap hover effect. This feature is still under review, so you can just follow the tags and see yourself what's coming up next. So yeah, thanks Rufus for your help.
Thanks Rufus.
What else do we have? Linked assets components. Yeah, you described components already so well. I have another one that I really like. It's responsive resize.
Oh my god!
It's not only responsive resize. Responsive resize just came out before last Max actually of artboards, but now it's also there for components. So there's a responsive resize for components. So how did we do that? So getting back to my presentation, our team was looking into what were designers trying to do. Designers were trying to scale up a navigation bar, for example. What did it do when you scale up the navigation bar? It deforms all your icons over here. It doesn't look as the way it should look. So what designers were trying to achieve was this one. So it keeps the constraints of the icons, but just resizes the actual navigation bar. So how did we get there? We were defining the rules, or we took the rules that the designer was designing. So we checked how much margins, paddings has the designer created, how are the fonts grouped together, what is centered, what is left and right aligned, and then just put that into relation and keep those constraints when you resize it. So that is what came out of it. And I have an example over here. So this one I actually just designed a tablet app with this. So you previously saw that I had this website, this desktop app, but I didn't design that. I actually just designed, mobile first, and then you go over to iPad. So I just designed this for iPad, and all I have to do here is switch on this responsive resize, so you can switch it on and off. So when I switch it on, this is what it's doing. So it just sizes it up, and I can size it to my 1920, or I can just input the numbers right there. So I have my standard website format, and all I have to do is literally center this image. So this appears in the middle again, and that's it. But it constrained the proportions of my icons. It brought them apart in the same distance. Isn't that cool?
It's just so quick. Again, it's super quick to go from a mobile UI to a desktop UI. Super quick. Yeah,
it is. Then I have another example from my booking app up there. So this is just a component. So let's switch it off first and see what happens when you don't have it switched on. So if I resize that, you see what's happening. Like this remains on the left. The numbers are completely off my circles over here. This is not centered anymore, so it looks quite awful, doesn't it? So I will have to redo everything by hand. So not anymore with XD. So all I have to do is switch on responsive resize, and I resize this entire component and see what it's doing. It just keeps all the constraints, and it keeps it in the middle.
And the numbers didn't change.
No, the numbers didn't change, and this is all still like centered. So all I would need to do if I wanted to is to center this one, but I don't have to. The same with a calendar. I think that's also a very clear example. So if I switch it off, See what's happening?
Yeah.
Awful. Look at this arrow even.
It's stressing me out, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Okay, let's not stress. Let's not stress Anita more and switch on responsive resize.
Yeah.
Do you feel better now?
Oh, perfect.
Do you feel better now? Brilliant, right? So it just keeps everything in line, centered. The whole calendar is centered.
Gorgeous.
I absolutely love this feature. So yeah, it's so simple and straightforward. That's responsive resize. But you have another game changer.
I have another game changer. And I think that it's really important to kind of, I guess, bring back that based on the feature release last year of like the kind of resize, like still making changes to that and updates as well, like as Stephanie just showed. And that's just how seriously, I guess, like we take getting feedback from you guys and the rest of our community. So yeah, so big fan of the design to dev handoff. Do you not think like you can make designs like amazing, you can have all the fantastic like user research and have human-centered design principles added, but if you can't communicate that to your developers to, you know, go ahead and build, that's when it can get a bit tricky. So I'm going to open up here my existing file, which is a design system. So if I go into share, I have the options to invite people to the document. So Stephanie has very kindly already invited me. There I am, my little
welcome
my
to
little
your own
emoji
document.
Welcome to my own document. So I can invite more people to the document. I can share for review, share for development. And this is what I really want to show you guys, because the CSS code snippets are just incredible. Okay, so if you just save this document, so let's just save it to your desktop, nice and easily. So just save just like here. So as that's saving, the other ways you can share documents with people is through share for review. And you can also tape a video, which I love doing because I love giving like a voiceover on that video, which is really easy to set up in XD. I can show that in a sec. And then you can really communicate to your dev team exactly what the kind of intent of your design.
You can do user testing by switching on the voice. You can just hear what they're saying and what they were struggling with. Because if you test like 5 users a day, you just forget things. And if you have it recorded, you know exactly where was the point where they struggled and iterated.
That's
it's
just been
great.
so popular, especially exactly with user testing, just amazing. So you can choose, like basically invite people to view this prototype. I can put a password on it and everything like that. So if I create the link, I can have a private link, as I mentioned, or make it public. I'm going to keep it public. I have nothing to hide.
That's good.
That's good. It's always good to do that on YouTube as well. So if I copy this link here and paste it, so I can really easily paste this. And you don't have to be a customer of Adobe's to access this link. You can literally sign in as a guest. And just like that, I can, as you can see, hold down the space bar for voice commands, super easy. So I'm just going to come out of this for 1 second. So there's 2 different ways that dev teams can, look at these prototypes. The first is the grid view here, so they can see the kind of sequence. And then the second is the layout view. So here you can see the overall flow and see where like everything goes and all of that. So by clicking on these artboards, you can like really move around and see all the different interactions. So if I get started here, so it opens up, I can start by booking tickets and it works
if these
just
seats look okay, say confirm purchase.
I love
it even
voice.
talks to us. It even talks to us. Yeah, the voice prototype even talks in the browser. Auto-Animate works in the browser.
Yeah.
There are so many things.
Exactly.
So nobody has to get XD to run it. You can just share the link with them and it runs right there.
So easy. Yeah. Super easy.
And I can comment on it.
Yeah. So you can sign in, you can make comments, you can put points on it.
Let's go to the cinema tonight, Anita.
So just like that,
it's there and it pops up.
Yes.
It pops up as a notification amongst a lot of others.
You've got a lot of notifications. It's all good.
And I can obviously delete that if I change my mind and don't want to go to the cinema with you anymore. Oh. So sad.
Go by myself.
But, or I can pin it.
Exactly.
Like if I say, let's change this seat to this one because I want to sit in the front row. But
that's just, again, all that transparency, really communicating effectively. So good. So just like that. And in terms of our like Jira and Slack integrations, that feedback can also be pushed out. That's fed into here. So really, really nice and easy. So for developers, oh, this is my favorite.
I think the developer's favorite.
Oh my
too.
God. So but just by clicking on the image, you can see all the CSS code. They can copy that straight away. They can see all the interactions, so the speech playback, the voice that was used in XD, and the speech, just like that. And just by clicking over here, they can see all the layouts again. It's just so intuitive and so easy for them to pick that up and then get cracking with build. So again, all the character styles, all the colors, the screen details and so forth. And as Stephanie mentioned, giving that feedback as well. Oh, there it goes, reserving seats. So yeah.
Your tickets are booked.
Front row, right?
Front row.
Yay.
We're gonna have neck injuries afterwards.
Brilliant.
We have front row seats.
But before we go to the cinema, we need to continue a little bit with our live stream. Now we have too many documents open. Where
It's just
is
that
our...
one. There you go.
Where's our live stream?
Where is our live stream?
Where's our live stream? We have another one. If you guys out there are into game design, that will be a game changer for you. Indeed, literally. We have keyboard triggers and gamepad triggers integrated in XD. So if I switch to prototype mode over here and I click on that, you can see the trigger is not like Anita's favorite voice or a time drag or tap. We have keys and gamepad. So if you have a gamepad plugged in your laptop, you can just hit whatever button is on there and it will populate it there. Here it's just the arrow down key. That's the command for this specific screen. And if I play this is like an email inbox design, and I just click on the arrow down and I can switch through the different emails right there. Or I can hit Command N for a new email and it pops up just right there. I click on it. I can still make it interactive with clickable parts. But yeah, I think that's really cool, especially a game changer for if you have a controller for Gamepad and want to do some prototypes for game animations. But yeah, we have another huge part in XD since last Max 2018, which is called the plugin ecosystem.
Oh, it's amazing.
So we have third-party plugins. So if you are into JavaScript and development and that sort of stuff, feel free to code your own plugin. You can run it there privately, or you can get it released through Adobe. We have this panel up here, which is called plugins, and in managed plugins, you can just see all the plugins that are there. You can search for them. Here are all plugins. We have around 150, I think. But you have prepared some really cool stuff.
Oh yeah,
haven't you? Some really helpful stuff. So yeah, you can code your own plugin if you get here into development. But we're going to show some of our favorite plugins right now.
Defo. So I think just one other thing to add on the plugins is what's really good about the plugins in XD is they update inside of XD, which is so easy. So sometimes I open my XD file and it's like you have to make 2 updates and they just update instantly inside of XD, which is awesome. So 2 plugins that I love. So back in my heyday, I used to work a lot with, copywriters and putting copy into my designs, and I'd have to completely rechange them because the copy was too long. And that process can be quite back and forth. So 2 plugins that have come out are Google Sheets and the Data Populator. Oh, Stephanie, I love them. Okay, so let's give them a whirl. So as you can see here, I've got my 3 artboards and they're all different sizes. If I go into my plugin panel here, so I've got my Google Sheets plugin. So as Stephanie pointed out, you can access plugins up here or down here. This little like Lego piece, which I love. So if I click on my Google Sheets plugin, just like that, I can paste a public web link from Google Sheets. I can load a .csv file, which is really cool because even if I save an Excel file as .csv, it will still work.
Yeah,
so
you
cool.
can load it, yeah.
So if I go into my browser just here and go to my Google Sheets, and I go to File, super quickly. So all the columns like title of post, username, date posted, and all of that are all called out in my XD file. So that's how it kind of recognizes and tag teams the content.
That's how it picks it up.
Exactly. So if I save this as a .csv file like here, so that's downloaded, awesome. And then I go back into here, I just select my 3 artboards. Let's go back into design mode for this just to make sure. So just like that. And and then I click on load.csv. Let's skip the tutorial.
Yeah,
I'm a pro at this.
We're pros. We don't need tutorials anymore.
Sometimes. And then I go to downloads and I access the .csv file.
I have loads of them.
You have loads.
So maybe just change it to the list view so you
Awesome.
see which one was the
there it
latest.
is. It's right
That's
there.
yours.
Yeah, then click open. So I'm just going to cross-check so I can see, ellipse 2, no mapping. Let's put a post image in there because the ellipses are the images. Hey, critic score, cross tag. I'm going to put the rating in there. You're just going to cross tag just to make sure. I'm just going to make sure everything's perfect. And then I click apply. And just like that, it's updated my content. So my images haven't come through. So let's do it again. Why not? Let's see. So I'm going to get my .csv file just like that. So username, profile picture, description, critic score. Let's try these. Post image. Maybe I missed off a few. Let's do again. Let's just do all the ellipses.
Let's do all of them.
There we go.
Oh, there's a picture.
Oh, there's a picture.
All of your pictures.
Beautiful. All my pictures. Apologies about that, guys. I didn't put in the rest of my pictures, so that was my bad. But as you can see, all the pictures have pulled through just like that. Super easy, right? You can easily push in the content, push in the images without having to, oh my God, import an image. Wait 20 years, do the next one. It's just so much faster.
That's easy to work with the clients because they're usually used to Office and Google Sheets, that sort of style.
So
it's cloud-based, they can change it, and you just load whatever they have changed it to.
So one other plugin that I love that I was mentioning is Data Populator. So let's get it. So let's go to Plus, search Data Populator. Data Populator just here. Click Install. And just like that, it's installed. Oh, so quick. I love it.
I can't believe I didn't have that.
Do you know what? Now you do. You can use it every day.
Thank you, Anita. What would I do without you?
You can just let me know what you think. So with the Data Populator plugin, I mean, this is awesome. Like as Stephanie mentioned with like JSON, you can like bring in that code just like that. You can populate with JSON. So you can import like a Visual Studio, like JavaScript file, which is super, super easy and so forth. So for this example, I've actually got some code I prepared earlier. And just the same as Google Sheets.
Such a nerd.
I know, I'm such a nerd.
You can code?
I did computer science at uni, girl.
I know, you told me.
I know, back in my heyday. So as you can see, I've got my first name, last name. I've got all my titles here. If I open my file just like that, and then it's the same, status, image, all called out in my XD artboards. And I've just pulled in these images from GitHub, just like that. So let's copy this, copy just here. And go back into XD. I'm going to select these two artboards, and then I'm going to go to populate from URL, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to click load. That's just pulling that in. See, super quick, right? Click populate, and boom, everything's in. Do you want something really, really cool?
Where do the pictures come from?
They all came from GitHub. So do you see here, I had image from GitHub. Yeah, so all the images came from GitHub. Them. Yeah. As this is from the GitHub, I guess, like...
The nerd platform. Yeah, we got that.
So just like that, if I click on repeat grid, so as you can see here, I can have multiple instances. I mean, this is so cool for using those different UIs. As Stephanie showed earlier, like with the resize, you can really go to town. But if it's okay, can I show you another plugin that I love?
Of course.
Okay, so one plugin that I absolutely love that is so fantastic. Like if you're like, you know, when you're working on a client pitch or doing a presentation and you're like, oh, I'd really just love all those images, all those character styles and everything. This is the Mimic plugin. And you have it.
Oh, I know that one.
Like your thoughts on Mimic? What do you think?
I think it's absolutely brilliant, especially if you have if you work for larger companies that have this design guideline websites. You can load all the design guidelines from there. So yeah,
and it just gets pulled straight in.
Yeah, thanks to Simon who developed it.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
You've saved everyone so many hours. So like, let's try Nike.com. Let me do it. Nike.com. I need to get some new sneaks. So extracting the colors, character styles, and images. And just like that, it's pulling all of them through and it's going to put them directly into XD, which is awesome.
Looks like a big website. A lot of sneakers.
There's a lot of sneaks on Nike.com. And just like that, here we go. Let's just, it's up here. Zoop.
Where is it?
It's up. It's up
There.
there. Yeah.
Come back down.
Come back down.
Come back down to us.
Come back down. Why is it playing so hard to get? There we go.
I've got it.
So if you zoom in, so this is really cool. So if you click over here, so just like that, if I wanted to select like all these colors just here, I can go to my assets panel and I can just like add all these colors just like that. So if I click on colors, boom.
Whoa.
That is amazing.
They're all there.
And these images are really nice, right? So if I click on here and like, stretch them out, they still look really good, like that's not pixelated. Ooh,
yeah.
It's pretty good looking. And just like that, I can, add that as a component. I can have that across multiple files. If I change that image, it will transcend. It's just perfect. Super, super easy to use and really, really powerful.
Yeah, I love that one too, but I have another one.
Oh yeah, go on.
That I really like.
Okay.
It's a calendar one. It just does what it says. I love things that are...
But it's fiddly to like make a calendar, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's like, you have to open any calendar, go through, type in every single number yourself. Maybe you can use repeat grid and go from 1 to 31 or whatever, but then every month is different.
I know.
And starts have a different place. So the cool thing here is just with the calendar plugin, you can just select, like you have options like cell size, but I usually never use it because it just populates it as a functional thing that you can change. So you can select whether the week starts on Monday or Sunday, or the weekdays are labeled with single letters or an abbreviation. And I can just say, hit calendar, and look what it pasted. Pasted this entire calendar. I can scale it up.
Oh my God.
I can scale it up, and
that would take a long time to do,
right?
wouldn't it? Yeah.
So it just pastes this group over here, and when you open this group, this is all real text. So if I wanted to change that text, I can just change it to whatever, make it bigger.
Nice.
That's so cool, isn't it? So what I did is I just placed that calendar right there, and then I just styled it to make it look like this one.
Oh.
That's all I did. Then another one that I really like, I don't know, have you ever had to design multilingual?
Oh my God, I have. So I actually did a project in like Arabic, and that's obviously a complete like UI change. And I am like the most dyslexic person in the world, as you know. So this is a lifesaver plugin. Yeah, this really is.
I wished I would have had that earlier, because I had to design apps in like Turkish, Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish, like all these languages that I don't know.
Gosh.
And I designed everything in English first, and then more towards the end of the project, where everything was signed off and we were about to push it live and we were just awaiting the translations. Then we get the translations and boom, it breaks the entire design. So I have this example right here. This is just a sneak from a chatbot that I have designed. And you can just see the chatbot is just asking, good morning, do you want to reset your password? What's your user ID? Simple flow, right? And we have this plugin called World Ready. So if you have, we accept everything. We accept every translation. So you can select the source language. So even if you have designed in another language, not English, you can select it right here. And you can just tick all the languages that you don't know, like Japanese, Turkish, Finnish, Swedish. What else don't you know? Russian, the notes, but these are pretty much ones we clearly don't know, do you?
Yeah, no, I barely know English. Oh my God, it's so good.
Isn't it? Yeah, warning, okay, you can warn me about anything, but I take your I take your translation.
Look at that. And it gives you the names of Swedish.
And look at this now. Now I can clearly see when I click into that my text box is not big enough.
Oh,
so I can see that it's overflowing text, right?
It would take you forever to do manually. Seriously.
And then the same like languages that I can't even read, such as this one. Isn't that cool? So I can double check. See, this is also way too small, and it would completely. And I can also see how big the letters are actually.
Yeah.
You know, if I have to increase the line height, as you can see here, there's still a little bit.
Nice.
There's even more text. See, I can't even read that. But isn't that cool?
So cool.
This one as well. I can't read that either. So most of the time,
there's a lot of stuff we can't read.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But see, then you can see how these signs are, you know, in place and how to make them look pretty and stuff. So I think that is so helpful. I absolutely love that plugin. I wished I would have had that sooner, so I wouldn't have had this time pressure to make it look right in every language that I had to translate it to.
Definitely. So Stephanie, guess what?
What?
We have a question.
No way.
Toffee K. Oh, I'd love some toffee right now, wouldn't you?
Later.
Okay, where do you both get your inspiration from? I struggle to know where to start.
From each other.
From each other.
Just ask us.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I can recommend Behance. So if you struggle getting inspirations, go to Behance. You're on Behance too,
Oh,
aren't
yeah,
you?
absolutely.
So I'm on Behance. Anita is on Behance. If you don't want to follow us, that's fine. If you look for something specific, we have a search. You can just type in whatever you're looking for. You see even suggestions right there. So you just search for whatever you're looking for and what you want to have your inspiration about. I personally, I upload a lot of my tutorials there as well, so you can download my demo files if you want to. They're all there for free. I also have actually a great example about the Google Sheets plugin that I have created for you. So if you ever had to create a time slot booking app, you know how long it takes. Imagine you have to create 10 minutes in 24 hours time slots and type that in all individually. So what I created is this Google Sheet right here for you, so you don't have to create a time slot. So these are 10 minutes in 24 hours, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 120 minutes. I also created different tabs down there, so you can copy and paste them individually, paste them in your own, whatever you like. But let's just go with this one and copy this link, and I have here this time slot. So all I created a frame with the time right there, and all I'm going to do is to hit repeat grid, drag it out, drag it down.
Amazing.
So, but the problem now is that everything is still from midnight to midnight. So you can't let everyone book from midnight to midnight. So what you can do with the Google Sheet, as you explained it earlier, you just run the Google Sheets plugin and paste public link, the one that I just copied. Put that in, continue, and I'm going to use the 30 minutes one because I want my slots to be 30 minutes. And
awesome.
See, it just goes all the way from midnight in half an hour slots all the way down until midnight again.
But there's so much inspiration on Behance as well.
Yeah,
and you put so much stuff on. But can I show you like another thing which I like?
Where's
like
your
another
Behance?
site that I love to use for inspiration.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So this is amazing. So we have a bunch of like kits, like XD kits, which we really love to share with people, and that are publicly available to get started with. So even if you open up a new XD project, and if you go to add-ons just here, and you just click on UI kits, if you click on here, you get a bunch of UI kits. And now, sometimes I can be a little bit lazy, but if I click on my UI kits, I can download, you know, the Apple design, I can download like all the material design, and I can also get started with an Alexa UI kit, and that just downloads the XD file, I can open it, and I can get cracking with making it my own and putting in my own assets. So we've got an Auto-Animate UI kit from Howard Pinsky. This is amazing. I have so many people love this UI kit. But sometimes it's just a little bit easier to like look at that, get some inspiration, go onto Behance, get your vibes going, and then put that into your into your XD designs. But I really recommend that as well.
Yeah, it also helps to learn about the technical components. So how do you interact with things? But yeah. On that note, do we have any more questions? I don't think so.
Toffee K, you got any other questions? We have no other questions for now.
We have come up to time, Anita. The time flies with you.
The time
flies with you. But yeah, if you want to get some more inspirations, I can definitely recommend watching us again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We are back live on 22nd of November, and we are also going to Max, Anita.
There's so much good stuff coming out, but we can't say anything.
No,
we can't say anything.
But in 2 weeks' time, Anita and I will be in LA LA, over in America, and we will be coming back. Definitely packed a suitcase full of new features with XD that we're going to present to you on 22nd of November when we're back live here.
Yes.
If you don't want to wait until 22nd of November, next week is another live stream going on from Adobe Creative Collabs, so make sure to tune in at 2 p.m. UK time. And thank you very much for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. See you soon. Have an awesome